Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, how are you today? I hope all of you are doing well. I hope everyone is safe and healthy. Welcome back to the TOEFL preparation course. And today we are going to continue our discussions on listening comprehension skills for short dialogue. And today we will cover skill 14 to 17. Okay, let's first talk about contrary meanings, which are covered in skills 14 and 15. Okay, let's take a look at skill 14, guys. Listen for wishes. Okay, well, the important idea to remember about wishes is that a wish implies that the opposite of the wish is true. It means that when I say a wish, then the condition that I have is on the contrary of the wish. Okay. For example, if I say I wish I could fly, it means that the true condition is that I cannot fly. Okay. So wish implies the opposite of the wish is true. That's what you should keep in mind. Okay, let's take a look at the example.
Page 64. Example from the Paper and Computer TOEFL tests.
It's too bad that you have to stay here and work during the school break.
I really wish I could go with you and the others to Palm Springs.
What does the man mean?
Okay, you have heard the recording and you can also read the transcript. Okay, so in your textbook you read A. Maybe he will go with others on the trip. B. He is unable to go on the trip. C. He's happy to be going on the trip. And D. He is going on the trip but not with the others. Okay, so what is the answer for this question? What does the man mean? Great. Okay, if you take a look at the transcript of the man, yeah. I really wish I could go with you and the others to Palm Springs. When he said that he really wished he could go, so it means that, great, he cannot go. So, what is the answer for this? Remember the previous skills? Paraphrasing, synonym. Okay, good. The answer is B. He is unable to go on the trip. Great. Okay, let's take a look at the key information about wishes. Okay, the first point is that an affirmative wish implies a negative reality. So if I say I wish I had time to help, then it means that I don't have time to help, or I have no time to help. Okay, and on the contrary, a negative wish implies an affirmative reality. So if I say I wish I did not have time to help, it means that, correct, I have time to help. Okay, so it's always on the contrary. The second point is a past tense verb implies a present reality. A past tense verb implies a present reality. So, for example, I wish he were at home. I wish he were at home. Past tense were. Then the meaning is that he is not at home. Okay, so because it's in past tense, I wish he were at home. Then the meaning is in present tense. Then he is not at home. Okay, the next point is that a past perfect tense verb implies a past reality. So if I say I wish he had been at home, which is a past perfect tense, then the reality is that he was not at home. So everything happens in the past. Yeah, he was not at home. And I wish he had been at home. Okay, so that is key important points about wishes. Let's move to skill 15, which is listen for untrue conditions. Okay, the important idea to remember about conditions is that it implies that the opposite of the condition is true. Almost similar to wishes, yeah, the opposite. Yeah, so when we have one condition, then the opposite of the condition is true. Let's take a look at this example. Let's hear the recording first.
Page 66. Example from the paper and computer TOEFL tests.
Do you think that you'll be able to go to the party?
If I had time, I would go.
What does the woman say about the party? Page 60.
Okay, now that you already listened to the recording, and you can also see the read the transcript here. The woman said, if I had time, I would go. What does the woman say about the party? If I had time, which means when she said if I have time, it means that she hasn't have time. So, what does the woman say about the party? Yes, it means that it's impossible to go because, yes, she doesn't have time. All right, let's take a look at some important point about untrue conditions. The first one is that an affirmative condition implies a negative reality. So, for example, if she were at home, she could do it. It means that she is not at home. Okay, the next point is that a negative condition implies an affirmative reality. For example, if she weren't at home, she could do it. When I say if she weren't at home, it means that on the contrary, meaning that she is at home. Okay, now let's take a look at the next point for untrue conditions. A past tense implies a present reality. Okay, past tense implies a present reality. For example, if I had money, I would buy it. There is a past tense here, if I had money. Then the condition is, or the reality is in present. So it means that I don't have any money. I don't have any money. If I say if I had money, which is in past tense, then the condition is that I don't have any money. It's in present, which is in present. Okay, the next point is that a past perfect verb implies a past reality. For example, if I say, if I had had money, I would have bought it. If I had had money, I would have bought it, which is in past perfect, had. If I had had money, I would have bought it. Okay, if I say it in past perfect, then the meaning or the reality is in the past. Okay, so for this one, if I had had money, I would have bought it. The meaning or the reality is that I did not have money. All right, that's the fourth point. Now let's take a look at the next point, which is had can be used without if. The word had can be used without the word if. So the if condition, yeah, the if can be deleted. Yeah, and then we can use the had only. So it becomes, had I had money, I would have bought it. Compare it to the previous sentence with if. If I had had money, I would have bought it. Becomes, we deleted the if, and then the had goes before, the first had goes before the subject. So the sentence becomes, had I had money, I would have bought it. Okay. And the meaning is the same with the previous point, which is then, meaning that I did not have money. All right, that's for the key important points about untrue conditions. Let's take a look at skills 16 first, which is listen for 2 and 3-part verbs. What it means by 2 and 3-part verbs are expressions that include a verb and one or more particles. So if you have a verb and one or more particles, then that is what it means by 2 and 3-part verbs. So we do not only have one verb, but we have one verb and one or more particles, followed by one or more particles, such as in, on, or at. Yeah, what we have to keep in mind is that the particle changes the meaning of the verb. So if you have certain verb with one particle, now the meaning of the verb can change when we have different particle after the verb. So students need to be careful with the question, since the meaning of the expressions will be different if the verb has different particles. So please keep in mind on this note. Yeah, a verb can have different meaning when the particle following the verb is different. Yeah, so you have to be careful with this. Let's take a look at the example here on a TOEFL test. Let's hear the recording first.
Page 70. Example from the paper and computer TOEFL tests.
What time does the meeting start?
Didn't you hear that it was called off by the director?
What does the woman say about the meeting?
Okay, you have heard the recording, and then you can also read the transcript here. What time
Page
does the meeting start? Didn't you hear that it was called off by the director? Okay, what does the woman say about the meeting? The woman say called off. What does it mean by called off? All right, the answer is D. The director canceled the meeting. So when you have called off, it means that it is canceled. Okay, now let's move to skill 17, which is listen for idioms. What are idioms? All right, idioms are special expressions in a language that all speakers of the language know. These special expressions describe one situation in life but are applied to many different areas of life. Okay, so the speakers of the language know, and it is actually describing one situation in life but applies to different areas of life. That's what is called idioms. Let's take a look at the example. Idioms. Let's listen to the conversation.
Page 72. Example from the paper and computer TOEFL tests.
Tom is a full-time student and is holding down a full-time job.
He's really burning the candle at both ends.
What does the woman say about Tom?
All right, what does the woman say about Tom? She said that he's really burning the candle at both ends. Okay, can you imagine if you burn the candles at both ends? Not only one end, but both ends. What does it mean? It means that he's doing too much. You can just burn one end of candles. You do not need to burn both ends of the candle, right? And you should not take full-time students and also a full-time job. That's why it means he's doing too much. All right, guys, that's all for today's meeting. Please do check the exercises on my class, and I also have some more information related to idioms on my class, so please do read the information, read the materials, and also watch the videos that I provided to you there too in my class. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.